Good afternoon, Ken and Daisy Nation. Welcome back to Painting with Ken. We got a really simple, pretty easy painting today, and I'm just using five paints. Let's get the palette out. We have some permanent red, some Hooker's green. There is that phthalo? Not phthalo, but why do I always mess that up? I can never remember the blue, but I've got some Van Dyke brown, midnight black, titanium white on my palette. I should put those the other way. I forgot it goes this way. I was thinking it was going this way. I was doing it for the right arm. My goodness. But anyway, we'll work it out. What blue is that? Oh, I don't know. So I got a tip or a suggestion from my favorite living painter, Timothy Wayne Williams. He does hidden Sasquatch pictures. Tim's a great guy. Love Tim. I consider him a very good friend of mine. And he suggested misting, so that people have told him to go ahead and mist the canvas. What I have here is an 11 by 14 canvas, pre-stretched, pre-primed, and I've got a little water bottle. I'm just gonna, whoa. And there is the thunder, and Daisy comes running. Daisy, I can't, listen baby, I can't have you right on me like that, okay? Alright, so I'm going to get out big brush. Oh, a 1 inch. Just a 1 inch. And I'm going to take some white and just I see that. I don't know if we can. I don't have the in front, but just a little tip of a little corner of that brush with a little black. And look at that. It's getting a nice light gray. Then I'm going to take just a little, again, just that little corner, and I'm going to go with some blue in there. Perfect. And if you can see that, that's a nice kind of a bluish gray. So I'm going to set my palette down because honestly, this tripod, my easel, isn't really the most stable. So I'm just going to come across and we're just going to do our little crisscross strokes, just like the little skies that we do in a lot of these. If you've seen me paint before, you've seen my paintings before, this is what I do. I hold on to my easel because I'm afraid it's going to go toppling over. I'm going to go down a little more than halfway for this one. That is, just going to go across, get rid of some of the lines there. All right, perfect. Now we're going to take that same blue color and we're going to just, again, just dip the corner of the brush into the paint. And I, of course, am modifying Bob Ross's wet on wet techniques. That's a nice shade, but I think I want it a little darker, a little more to the gray, and I might need to do a little bit of brown. Now all we're doing, every time I add a little bit of color, I'm using just the least little bit and on the corner of my brush, and I'm working that in. All right, now that is too dark, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little more white to that. I'm using my phone today because the laptop would not connect the proper camera, the right camera. So we came down to about here, so we're just going to go right across here with this kind of green. It's really supposed to be, well, actually not this picture. Not this picture. This picture is Got some color. It has some color to it. We just want to fill that in. Get a little more color on my brush. As you can see, I've gotten it all over my thumb. Color on there. And it is raining while we do this. Hopefully it won't rain too much. Although Jackson is still under the bush. Okay, now I'm just going to lift this up a little bit. Let's do a downstroke. Let's tap it into it. It's going to make these fantastic little things come up in the background. Perfect. We're going to wash our brush. I've got a big pail of water over here with the screen in it. These are acrylics. So, shake it off. I'm going to hit it on the wrought iron. And there we go. And ooh, I'm going to knock something over. I know I am. And just like that, nice clean brush. I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to let Daisy in. This is what happens when we go live, kids. There you go, Daisy. Come on, Jax. Here. I'll let you in too, buddy. You don't need to be getting wet. You don't need to be getting wet. Say hello, Jackson. Hello, Jackson. Okay. Enough of that nonsense. Okay, I'll be back in a little bit. They're probably going to howl, but that's what we do. All right, so we've got this nice green on the bottom. We've got that kind of bluish on the top. We're going to hope that this doesn't totally rain me out. Let's bring this in. I'm going to have to readjust. Sorry about the bumpiness, but my easel was too far out into the rain. Let's just bring this in just a smidge more, and that'll work. All right, I got my nice big 2-inch brush, and I'm just going to go across the whole thing. And I'm gonna, look at this, right here. You see that? How fantastic that turned out. All right. We need to make a decision. First, we need to decide which brush we're going to use. I think I'm going to use a nice little round brush. Little round brush. And do I want a little water on it? I think I do, because I want to get this, not too much, just a little bit of water on it, because I want to get this in my Van Dyke brown. And let's go ahead and mix that in with that base green color now that we have on there, that kind of dirty green color. Let's add a little more white to that so that it really, there, that's what I want. This is going to be very, very thick. I don't want to use that brush yet, I don't think. I want to use a smaller brush. Look, this is the difference between the two. Much thicker, much thinner. I want that thinner brush to start. I'm painting in the rain. See my little cup of water. I'm just going to dip that in. Just a little bit of water. I'm painting in the rain. That's probably going to get me knocked on Facebook. Okay. So we're going to take some Van Dyke brown into that green color. A little bit of that white. Perfect. And we're going to make a big decision. Where do we want it? Man, it's really coming down. You can see it is really coming down. So we're going to start with some nice trees. We're going to let's make this one. Let's have him a little crooked. Probably wasn't the best idea to do this, knowing it was going to rain today. So I'm just going to add some more brown to that. Some more of the Van Dyke brown. More of my titanium white. Prussian blue. It's Prussian blue. I keep wanting to say phthalo, but it's Prussian blue. All right, well, you know what? Let's make that a little bit darker. Let's add a little bit of our midnight black. Oh, there we go. That's nice. Let's add some more. Need a little more water. Not that that's going to be a problem with all the rain. Oh crap, there's the bus. It's not stopping, so I don't think they're on it. It's going down to the next bus stop. I'm not getting the kids today. Let's bring this down. All right, perfect. Now, I'm going to wash that off and then go back into our bigger round brush. And I'm going to go a little bit darker. And I'm twisting it. Look, I'm twisting the brush. All right, and then we're going to make a big decision here. There you go. Twist it, try to get a little point. And we're making these lower. We're putting these lower to the ground. Nice. And there we go. Perfect. What do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's an odd number. We can work with that. Oh, we can do a nice odd number. All right, so I'm going to wash that brush off. I really should have brought out a rag or something for it, but that's okay. We're going to go back to our littler brush, and we need to add a lot more paint on here, honestly. So I'm gonna dig into it. And you can see I'm adding more paint to my pile. A little black. We'll add some white in a second. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. But that's much too dark. Much too dark. So we're going to just take a blob of white, get in there. Perfect. Let's do one here. They don't have to be perfect. We're going to cover these up. All right, so we're going to come back here. We're just going to all right. And we're just wherever you feel like you might need. They don't have to be perfect. Like I'm barely even touching this one. Watch Painting with Ken. See Ken get electrocuted. I'm just going to keep adding on some branches. Lots of branches. Let's add some more ones here. Give it some character. That one has a nice big one going that way. And let's do some big ones here. Let's just slather some paint on there. And they don't have to be perfectly spaced apart. See, these two are nice and close together, and that adds interest. Let's put a nice big fat one right here in front of the other ones. Now it looks like it's going to all blend in together. Trust me. This will work out. Okay. Watch my little brush. Now. Big decision. We're going to take our. I'm going to go across it with a little bit of a spray. This is a wet on wet technique, a modified wet on wet technique. So I got my 1-inch brush again. And I'm going to take some of this green and some of this Van Dyke brown. A little bit of this white. Yeah, why not? Let's do something wild. Let's take a little bit, just a little bit of that permanent red. Look at that. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. And we want to darken this a little bit more. Let's take some of the midnight black, get in there, a nice dark green color. Now, I've got my bristles loaded, but I'm gonna pull it so you can see. I don't know if you can see that. That part of my brush is kind of rounded up. We're gonna pull it, nice round corner on that brush. And then we're just tapping that in. We're just tapping in some lowlights, some dark areas. We don't want it to really go. I should have waited on these. Maybe we'll go back over them. My goodness. We're just gonna fill in. Look at that. See how that works? Leave some of the branches show through. Let some of them show through. It's fine. I am totally rocking my... Let's add some more paint to my brush. I'm totally rocking my easel. And it might be out of the way. Let's move it back over. Kind of center it. There we go. All right. This is why I hold on to it. And we're just going to tap it with that corner. Let's put some up in here. Not bad, not bad. So let's go back in we're going to make this a little bit darker. The closer it gets, the darker these are going to be because you can see more detail. So we're going to take that same green color and we're going to go with a little bit of our Prussian blue. So Prussian blue, a little more of that Van Dyke brown color. A little more Prussian blue. Let's do that. Why not? Let's add a little more of our permanent red. That'll be, oh, look at that. That's nice and dark. Still got that green. We got a little bit of purple going on. And this is all background color. First thing I want to do though, and I dropped my brush. All right, so I'm gonna go back into this brown color right here. Stop, you're not coming out. It's raining. They're scared of the rain. There we go. Let's add some more detail here. We're just going to go over, because these are in the background. These are in the background. So we're just going to go over. We're going to make sure. Now, it doesn't look like much right now. I'm telling you, it really doesn't. Let's make that go up a little bit more. A little more here. Perfect. You're not coming out. Stop. Daisy Ray. All right, so we've got that dark color. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to draw it all in one direction. Just using that same dirty brush. Because you don't need clean brush. Look at how round that is. It's all rounded up. I'm going to set my palette down. I can't do it the way he did. I have to sit down when I'm painting. I can't do... There we go. And we're just gonna tap that on. Look at how that works. I probably should have done some yellow, but I'll use some white to lighten it up. Look at that. All right, let's get some more paint on our brush. Perfect. And we're going to go again. We're going to go I'm going to go over the top. Not too much. You don't have to kill it. How is it? Is it still in frame? Yeah, it's still in frame. Good. So you don't have to totally kill it. You know, we're going to leave some light coming through. Let's see. I gotta look. Sorry. Oh, there goes my chair. There goes my chair. Let's get that back in there, kind of centered. There we go. I have this stool that I sit on, kitchen stool, and with a back on it, and it just, sometimes they're not the most stable in the world. So I'm just going to go back here. Let's take some more of this. I think I want a little more of that permanent red in there. Oh, that's nice, yeah. Get that in there. You can't see it on the black, but again, just pulling that and let's flip it over. Why not? Oh, that's nice. That is perfect. I love that. I love the way that it's nice and dark here. It's more greens here. So here's what we're going to do now. We're going to take some of our titanium white, pretty much a lot of our titanium white. There we go. We're going to take some more of our Hooker's green. We're going to really lighten this up. Look at how much lighter that is. Some of that Hooker's green, get some more of that in there. Some of that Prussian blue. We're just mixing it with our same dirty old brush, and then we're going back. So here we go. Now we're not going to cover all of it. We're just going to figure out where your light's coming from. Leave those black areas. Nice. Let's go down here. Let's go a little down here under the trunk. Now this was a much darker base color. We're going to go back into that. Let's use a little more of the white on our brush, a little more of the white. Make it a little bit of a different value, and then we're just going over it, that same rounded corner. Look at that. All right. We're going to go back in, we're going to add some more of this Hooker green. This Hooker's green, because we want that to be a nice bright, kind of bright green value. And that's really going to come out. Let's take a little bit of that red, put in there, not much. I'm just going to add a little bit of that. It's going to give it a little flavor. Okay, let's get that on our brush. And let's go here. That looks like it's a little more forward, so let's go over top of even some of those highlights. And I'm twisting my brush. I'm twisting my brush to get different angles. Maybe it's behind this one, but it's ahead of this one. So let's do that. We've still got those great colors coming through there, right? Now we need... This was supposed to be a more muted painting. It turned out a lot darker and more colorful than I thought. But we're still doing trees. We're still working on trees. And it really doesn't matter. You know what, clean my brush off. Putting that grate in my water really helps. It helps scrape the paint off of it. I need to go out. Get those leaves. It is getting soaked in the rain. I still don't trust them. Now, if you signed on expecting a Bob Ross type tutorial with me just doing nothing but sitting here painting, I got life going on, man. Life is going on. All right, so we're going to let's take some of that brown color in there, that light brown color. Let's mix that in. I cleaned my brush, so we're going to start off nice and new. We're going to add some of that Prussian blue, and we're going to add some bushiness. Add some more green. Let's put our big brush aside. Do something different. Let's take our fan brush. Got a nice fan brush, and we're gonna get a little bit of water. Loosen that paint up a little bit. Oh yeah. A little bit more white to that. Okay, look at this. We are just loading up our fan brush. And then we're just going to tap. We're going to tap. Some little grassy areas. Doesn't have to be much. Use a corner on this one. We're just going to little grassy areas. Maybe some in the middle here, a little darker. Yeah, you want to make them a little less distinct as you go back. A little more water. And it becomes like a watercolor, almost. Okay, so, yeah, a wet paint will always stick to a thick paint, or a thin paint will always stick to a thick paint, and a wet paint will stick to a dry paint. So we're going to come back, and we're just going to go through with this. Let's change the value a little bit. Let's add a little bit of our Prussian blue. Just the littlest hint of that permanent red. A little bit of our Van Dyke brown. It looks like a mud color, I know, but trust me. So we're gonna go through like this, and we're just gonna use our fan brush. Look at that. All right, a little fan brush. I'm gonna do a little bit darker here. We're just using just the very edge. We're just tapping straight on. And it makes all these little things happen. And listen, I'm learning as I go. Just, you following along with me. I've only been doing this about 7 months. 6 or 7 months. So I'm learning as I go. All right, we're going to get back into our white. We've got our same dirty 1-inch brush. I've got a big load of white paint on there. There, that's a nice value there, but I'm going to add the rest of my Hooker's green. Painting didn't come out the way I thought it was going to, but I like it. I think it looks great. So we're going to just, again, that round corner of our little 1-inch brush. We're going to turn it. We're going to use that corner. We can use that corner there. It works better with oils. When you're using acrylics like I do, you use it sideways. You still want that corner on there because that gives it dimension. It gives it a nice little roundness. And I'm probably shaking my painting right off of the camera shot again. I'm working on an idea for a more look at that. There we go. Let's do one last little thing. Let's get some highlights in here. Not one last little thing. We want to get a nice scrub brush. There we go, that's nice. Just a nice little liner brush. Wet that down. And we're going to take some of our Van Dyke brown. We're just going to... Where's our light coming from? Let's say the light's coming from this way. So we're going to just really lightly. We've got to... We wet it. We put some water on there. It's a little wet. There we go. It's got some of that green in there, too. Jackson, Calm down, buddy. All right. Yeah, that's got some things growing that way. That's nice. Okay. A little more water. Could probably just stick it out in the rain. Some more of that Van Dyke brown mixed in with a little bit of that Hooker's green. Oh, that's coming out nicely. Look at all the little things happening in there. Right. Yeah, let's finish it off. Let's get some low lights going. Adding that water. Look at how the paint is breaking. And it's got all these little things happening. Right? I like it. I want to do a little bit more on this. I gotta get this a little bit lighter. There we go. Some of this. Let's add a little bit of our white. Just a little tiniest bit, and we're gonna lightly, just barely touch it. Barely touch it. We could do this with a palette or a palette knife. Yeah. But we've got all these little things happening now with just barely touching it. We've got water on the brush. We've got our acrylics. We can bring this down. I think we're going to call it a day. Last thing I have to do, clean that brush off. Let me find a nice liner. And I can get inside and keep Jackson from going crazy. Make sure I'm still in frame. I am. I know. It's a work in progress, guys. It's a work in progress. It's only my second video. It's on YouTube now. If you look on YouTube for Painting with Ken, you can see the videos there. You can watch them live here with me. So I'm just going to take some of that permanent red, and I'm going to twist my brush. I've got a little bit of water on there to loosen up the paint. I'm going to twist my brush. I'll come down here. All right, put that in there. Keep going. Ken, signed, sealed, delivered. You know what? I know I said one last thing like 20 times already. I just clean my brush. Then I'll wash them out in the sink when I get back in. Let's do it. Let's do it anyway. Palette brush. I'm going to go a little bit of the spritz. See how that works out. Let's make some little sticks. Oh yeah, I like that. I'm just using the corner, just the little tip of the knife, and it's picking up that paint. Oh, that's nice. That came out. That's... So I've got all these little things, these little scratchy things. And do them at different angles. They don't have to all be the same, going the same way. Look at that. Now I've got all kinds of little things happening. Let's do Let's do some little things in here. Just I'm trying to show you guys the different techniques that you can do with these just really simple stuff. Let me take this now. I don't like that, so I'm just going to tap over it. Look at that. If you make a mistake, you can fix it. The paint's still wet. You could scrape all this off if you wanted to and start over. Let me dull these a little bit. Some of those are a little too much. That's it. That's all we have. Guys, thanks for joining me on Painting with Ken. Let me get my phone out of here. We've got a great painting, just a simple painting with some trees. We've got some grassy things going on. And it's 9 trees, guys. It's 9 trees. Just simple, easy to do. I don't know how long this video was, because this way it doesn't tell me, but who knows. I guess we'll see when it posts. Thank you guys for joining me. Can I turn this around? Can I flip it? Yeah, it was really humid earlier. Got the old bandana on. It was a Grateful Dead one. I had a purple one I could have used, a light blue, but I went with the tie-dye today. Hey, pro tip. Wearing a bandana, it's hot and humid out. Of course it was humid, it was going to rain. Wet it down. Soak it first, wring it out, put it on your head. It'll help keep you nice and dry. Guys, thanks for joining me on another Painting with Ken. I hope you enjoyed this painting. I hope you learned something. It is going to be up on YouTube. It'll be up on Facebook for a month. You can watch it anytime. If you want to paint along with it, go ahead, get some supplies, paint right along with me as I'm painting. You don't have to do it live with me. Thanks for joining me. For Daisy Ray, who's going nuts in there, for Jackson Bartholomew, who's going nuts in there. For me, Ken, be good to each other, be kind to each other, do something nice for someone today. Just be a decent human being. Remember, I believe in you. No, that's not right. I do. Bigfoot believes in you, and so do I. That's what I wanted to say. That's it. I'm droning on. Peace out, my peeps.